Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on.
Welcome everybody to the Bring Me to Life podcast. My name is Selomon, as always joined by Shannon Shine.
What up, humans? Thanks for waking up and shining on with us. I'm excited to be back. We took a little bit of a break there, but most good podcasts take a few weeks off. It gives time for some exciting things to happen and change, and gives us time to come up with actual good stuff to talk about, so we're not just blabbering into the mics.
Yeah, life happens a lot, and sometimes you got to go with the flow and do your best. And it's good to be back here, and we have been opening up some new portals, so we got to take time to to do that in the best way possible. Yeah,
sometimes realities shift and missions get acquired. Have you ever felt like life is a video game and you unlock side missions and quests? Because I've been doing that a lot lately. It's been quite an adventure.
Yeah, I think that is an important part of adventuring, and I think when you start to travel and you get to see how big the world really is, and you get to experience what it's like outside of your norm, it's very eye-opening, and those quests and those characters can really lead you on some amazing journeys. So I know you've been on one recently.
Yeah, thanks for letting me go on said adventure. It was nice to get a break from the normal hustle and bustle of our current home base. I recently went on an adventure out to the Midwest, the furthest west I'd ever been. I landed in Kansas City and helped out a tribe of amazing humans that were launching their app. I don't know, maybe some of you know a Vibio app. I was helping them with an adventure for a little while, and then ventured around Kansas City for a little bit. It was my first time in Kansas City. It was really cool. Nice. Super artsy, high vibe town. Everyone there was so nice. And then I recently was in Chicago too, like earlier in the month, but there's something about Kansas City that seemed a lot more welcoming. It might have just been, the places I went and like the mindset I had even, but Kansas City was super artsy. People seemed excited about podcasting. Nice. I got to talk to a lot of different types of people in different scenes, different age groups, all walks of life. That was really cool. I went on the adventure with one of our other podcasters, Alan from Wonder AW or Wonder XP. Wonder XP is the actual podcast. He's Wonder AW on Instagram because he likes to be confusing with the alphabet.
But the podcast has a bunch of good episodes on it right now, and it's out there.
It's out there. It's doing its thing. I just recently did an episode with him where we talked about our journey through Kansas City, and then I went on down to Nebraska and visited Lincoln and Omaha, and we talk all about that in the latest episode of the Wonder XP podcast. And it was just fun, going on an adventure with a different partner for a moment. And while I did that, you were working really hard on amplifying your own portals. You've been working several different jobs and manifesting new realities for yourself.
Yeah, definitely worked very hard. And it was the first time I had worked, in a normal sense, I guess, having a shift where you have to go and clock in.
Jobs.
Muggle work, I did that, and it was like the first time I had really done it for like 16 days straight, and made, some resources and opened up some portals. But I got to work on a lot of projects, made some progress on a novel I've been working on, and it's pretty amazing when you have that time to kind of decide I'm going to work on these projects, and there's nothing that like gets in your way.
Yeah, I think it's important too for, companions that have been sort of codependent on each other to get that separation time too, to reflect and unlock different timelines and portals too. So I like that we were able to come back and continue the podcast and kind of hop back in after taking a little break. And, sometimes things get shifted and rearranged. I think today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about all the different podcasts that have been released here in the last few weeks so that anyone listening can have a taste of what else is out there on the Bring Me to Life network, because the Bring Me to Life network is evolving and quickly.
Yeah, it is evolving very quickly.
We've got quite a squad out there right now.
Quite a squad, yeah. It's pretty interesting to see how all of the hosts and everything kind of have certain waves, and I can tell when it's a collective thing when we're all going through something similar. And it seemed like everybody had to take kind of like a step back. Even Sarah Hall, who is super consistent, and she even had to like take a second to take a breather and get things just grounded, I guess. Like
everyone is reassessing and going through the upgrade portal, and it seems to happen a lot as we shift from summer to fall.
Yes.
Everyone starts going into a different speed and reflecting on what's worked for them throughout the year and what hasn't. We just had a full moon. I believe it was in Aries. Regardless of what it was in, it was powerful. Everybody was feeling it. Yeah. My messages were blowing up with people wanting readings or guidance or reflection or just somebody to, ask if the moon was affecting them too. So it's been quite an adventure this month of October, and we're getting ready to end it here with the upcoming Samhain, which we have other episodes from previous years where we really talked about the Samhain situation and feeling and vibrations. Samhain. I know I was saying it wrong. I was waiting for you to correct me. I looked at you like, are you going to correct me? Because I know I'm saying it wrong.
Samhain. I try not to tell people what is right and what is wrong, because maybe there's, different countries with different pronunciations.
Well, I always said it the way I had just said it up until like 2 or 3 years ago, and then I said it again and was like, oh, well, I went with it. I'm gonna roll with it and see how it goes.
That's okay.
But that's all good.
Yeah, I think later episodes we'll probably talk more about different, traditions. But it's a good time, and it's exciting, and people are doing new things, and we actually just went through a crazy portal where even Saturn was in retrograde, as well as Mercury and like 3 other planets all at the same time, and so a lot of those planets are all going direct around the same time. And from what I heard, it's like a lot of people who may have felt stuck in life or have been a little down, like we're getting a lot of our inspiration back. Like a lot of, if we had started a new project, that vigor that we first started with, like that is the kind of energy that we're gaining back.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people that are coming back and getting their excitement about what they were initially passionate about, or they're like realigning with a passion in a different way. I know I'm really personally excited to take my art and jewelry to the next level. While I was out west, I had a lot of opportunities to get my art and jewelry and even my music and spoken word out there. So I'm really excited and ignited to do that. I just spent all day kind of rearranging my studio to like open up the energy of that portal. And I've also found myself starting to go through closets and releasing items of old energy so that I can welcome this new phase in. I feel like there's such a new wave of energy coming for all of us, and many of us have felt the call to create space for that. I know others have felt the call too to create way for the new world. Some people see it as more of a, I don't want to say doomsday, but a transitional day period. So people are getting bug out bags and stuff. But for me, it's about like making space and feeling lighter so that I can go with the flow. And I don't know. I learned a lot too, because I went on my first flight. I went on my first flight with you to Florida earlier this month, and then I have taken about 10 plane rides since. So I learned a lot about packing lighter and lighter, even though I acquired new things along the way to make sure those travels went smoothly. So
open up that portal. Yeah,
what a portal that was. Not ever flying in my 30 years of existence to flying all over. I really brought that dream to life. Thank you for that activation. And that kind of also brings us to some other things that we've been brainstorming of as the world opens back up, bringing other dreams to life that we've been holding on to for quite some time. I know that I'm really looking forward to traveling more in 2022 and being able to bring different bucket list items to life, and doing so with friends and making it a journey. So I think that's going to be a fun mission. Yeah.
So fun fact, when Bring Me to Life was started as like a YouTube series, I tried to reach out to people to get it to be like a team of us like traveling and opening up and finding like new truths out there and opening up our spirituality and whatnot. And a few people said that they were interested but never ended up going. And so I did a round of Bring Me Life and came back and did another round, but my camera
The lost season
got all lost for that. But I am excited because doing video, and I think with our tour we will have some video and make it kind of like a documentary series, almost like it started off as.
Right. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've had this sort of download where, like I said, we would make bucket list items that we could bring to life, and we've been waiting on a good crew, and I think that it's starting to really kind of fall into place. We don't want to give away too many details, but we have been excitedly brainstorming it, and there's a few different podcasters and adventurers that want to jump along the ride, and I think it would be cool to visit certain places. So if you're out there listening, you're a part of the Bring Me to Life tribe, and you think that there's a place around you that needs brought to life, or could have an activity that would be fun for us to do and challenge our crew with, send us a message, join the Bring Me to Life community, find a way to reach out to one of us on our social media platforms. I mean, I'm Shantastic Shine on most, and you're Selomon Official on most. So we're pretty easy to find on most platforms outside of the Bring Me to Life with the number 2 platform.
Easy.
We try to keep it consistent. We've learned consistency is key.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes we're not here every Tuesday, but we've been consistently adding content to the website. So if it's not us, there's always someone.
Articles, there's always new podcasts, there's always something. And it's good. I'm glad it's all coming along, and we have a bunch of cool ideas that we talked about, and it feels good getting back into it. Feels good recording this. Thank you all for listening and tuning in to the Bring Me Life podcast.
For sure. You mentioned some of the consistent podcasts. Do we want to go through some of the recent podcasts that were released on the network?
Yeah, so we'll do the quick one here, and it's a movie review. So our cinema scribe, Brett Marchand, he does a bunch of movie reviews, but he does them in a way that's like he focuses on the way they consciously create their realities, and he just does a good job of relating it to the law of attraction. And his latest review was on the movie Lamb, and it came out this year. And it's actually about a farm couple who have a weird discovery in their barn. It's a thriller. It's a dark comedy, and it's a very interesting review that he has. So that is up there. You can find that by searching the Cinema Scribe wherever you're listening to this podcast at.
Yeah. Where are you listening to this podcast at? Can you let us know what platform you prefer? We broadcast from Spreaker, but many people listen on Spotify or YouTube or Stitcher or many other platforms. So we would love to know, where are you hearing us from?
Yeah, and if you have the opportunity, please rate us, review us, because that will help us bump up in the algorithm and help more people to find us.
Totally. So our next podcast is the Incense and Whiskey podcast. And those ladies are talking about the cost of the energy of depleting behaviors. And I think that's an interesting topic. I haven't yet got to listen to this podcast, but I think that it's important to think about where your energy goes and, how possible is multitasking. I say I'm multitasking all the time, but sometimes it feels like I'm taking 2 steps backwards as I take 1 forward. I'm like, I'm getting all these things done. But really, if I focused on one thing, I'd probably get done way quicker. But,
it can be hard in this world.
Different mindsets.
The more you practice, I think the more you say no to those distractions, the stronger your willpower will be.
Another depleting behavior is the scrolling of endless social media. That is my downfall.
Yeah.
I've noticed, today I spent at least an hour before I was like, all right, I must. I would open Facebook, and then I'd scroll until I read something I already read, and then I would open Instagram and then do it again. I was like, what am I doing with my life? So I know I'm not the only person out there. I literally took both of them off of my phone's homepage, turned my phone on to silent, and started rearranging my studio, and felt 10 million times better.
Yeah, it's, to try not to judge yourself too harshly if you fall into those holes. Just realize them and then move on. And, anytime those, I heard them called negotiations, anytime those little negotiations start to pop up in your head, don't even give them a second thought. Just be like, no. Because you want to think as a successful person, as a successful business, as a successful podcast, whatever you're doing, as a successful whatever, I do not let the distractions distract me.
My phone actually has a screensaver on it right now that says if you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals and the life you want.
Exactly.
And then it's got a picture of me pointing at the time, so when I see synchronistic numbers, I can screenshot them to my friends, and they can see me pointing to the time. Yes, I am cheesy. I love it for it.
Oh, dude. Shannon is like hilarious, and yeah.
If you need me as your screensaver, guys, you let me know.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, we got them up on bringmelife.com.
I should put them on bringmetolife.com.
Shannon Shine screensavers coming soon.
All right.
We're gonna make this part of the our tour.
Articles, yeah.
We're gonna have a fundraiser for our tour and get it all going here.
So funny.
So following along with the theme of keep making sure your time is going in the right direction. We have a podcast by Happy Hearts, and theirs was about burnout. So it's kind of like a theme that they had going on, and you can find that at Happy Hearts on any of the podcasting platforms. You can search Happy Hearts House or Happy Hearts Podcast.
The journey into burnout and depression.
Yeah,
that's another one. Okay, so I haven't had time in my studio other than cleaning it today, where I also listen to podcasts to catch up, but I'm going to listen to all these podcasts because they are right up my alley. So there's my suggestion to you. If you're cleaning or working on something around your house, throw some podcasts on. Listen while you're cooking. Listen while you're washing the dishes. Those are some of my favorite times to listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would listen to them on my drives sometimes, like long car rides, like driving to Pittsburgh and back is like 5 hours in total.
Yeah.
So it gives you sometimes I would listen to a whole audiobook.
That's pretty awesome. I listened to some audiobooks and podcasts while I was on my flights back and forth, and while I was waiting my layovers, and then just different parts of my trip. There was a lot of good times to tune in, and I found that it helped me keep from having to listen to the same songs over and over as well, which is another depleting habit that I have.
It's exactly the same. I thought was like, dude, listening to this podcast, listening to this audiobook is just so much wonderful information that's not being repeated. I have a CD in the truck, and it's played probably 5 times now in the last 2 days. And I'm like, oh, okay.
We need to get you an upgrade.
I need to get a new CD.
All right. So our next podcast, he's put out a couple of episodes. It's the Wonder XP podcast. He's been releasing something every Monday to really get his new podcast rolling. Shout out to Alan and his different interviewees. This month he's interviewed Derek DeJournis, who talks about helping start from the bottom and making his way up to the top.
Nice.
He shares different discussions on how to learn outside of your typical element, and just motivational discussion on how to excel through different companies or passion projects. So yeah, I think that's a good one to listen to. And then he had another one also this month.
We all want to have some success in our lives.
Yeah. His other one this month was with Ryan Detman, who is a reporter and runs a newspaper, I believe, in Nebraska, which nice. I think it's cool that we're branching out west. We've got a lot of people in Chicago. We got a lot of people all over the East Coast, and we have a lot of people in England, of all places. But now we're branching out to the Midwest over there. So shout out to Wonder XP. And then the most recent podcast is actually my discussion with him about our journey from Kansas City down through Nebraska. And we talk a lot about life being a video game and unlocking side quests and adventures and just how to go about the game of life. It was a pretty good episode. Yeah. Pretty long episode, actually, but you can break it down into parts. Cool. We like to talk.
Yeah. Well, that's good when you're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. And shout out to Alan. Thanks for being part of the network. It's exciting to have new people joining. And like you said, spreading it out there to new crowds and new people is always exciting. That's part of our thing, is waking people up or just, shining on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my adventures with him in getting to expand the network. I think he's got a lot of good things to offer, and it's really inspiring to have new energy on the team and somebody who loves going on adventures as much as we do. And it makes me feel really safe and really excited to be getting out there again.
Good. That's good to hear. Another podcast that we have is Cosmic Earth, And our friend Brooke, who is the host, interviewed Mandolin Freeman recently about her journey that she's been on, and she talks about reconnecting to Earth and a certain way of life. She talks about living in different kind of communities, and permaculture, as well as regenerative living.
Ooh, that sounds so exciting.
Yeah, that's like Cosmic Earth is a very earth-based podcast.
She's also got some beautiful jewelry and handmade items that she creates that help go towards the Cosmic Earth Wellness Project. You should definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Our another one is the Shamanic Living with Felicia Armstrong. It's a very great podcast. A lot of good information about shamanism if you are interested in that. And it's about what gifts are we meant to share with the world.
That's a beautiful theme. I think it's really important for people to kind of reflect on this too, because so many times people are like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And they forget to reflect and be like, well, what is my gift? Yeah. You don't necessarily have to have this big, divine, extravagant purpose, but we all come with certain gifts. Maybe it's to be a good listener. Maybe it's to be a good nurturer. Maybe it's to be a good healer, which kind of feeds into our other podcast with Sarah Hall. She talks about working with Raphael.
Oh, yeah.
And the healing angel, which I think is pretty great because I just sold one of my Raphael paintings. Yeah. And I saw the Anomal Kingdom made a little video using my Raphael painting.
Raphael is coming in right now.
Yeah, Raphael's coming in strong. And not to take away from talking about Felicia's podcast for a moment, but one of the gifts is, connecting with angels, which is something that Sarah does really strongly and something I've been working with really strongly. And I know many other people are unlocking those different gifts and working on figuring out maybe what their divine gifts are. And if that's something you're looking more into, maybe consider reaching out to one of the hosts, either Felicia or Sarah or even myself, or even you, Silo, to connect deeper with these different spiritual affinities, as I like to call them, to see what it is that you could, focus on unlocking. And you may have many, and maybe there's something that you wish to unlock that you don't think is a gift, and you're just looking for more information on how to go about unlocking that part of your psyche. So yeah, and shout out to Sarah Hall. I got to help and tune in with her latest podcast on Raphael. It was really amazing. She talked about divine healing, the essence within you, and using Raphael as a guide to help heal yourself. And another beautiful podcast. She's live. I think it's the fourth Thursday.
The third Thursday usually.
She's one of our only ones who goes live, and at the end of her podcast, she does readings for people who do donations, and that goes towards helping the network grow. So if you ever want a quick reading, that's a great way to get involved with the network and with Sarah Hall, because typically a one-on-one session with her, they're usually rare to get. I think she's usually pretty booked up, but you can check out her website too. She has courses and different things that she offers. You can get one-on-one sessions with her, but those quick reads at the end of her episodes are super powerful, and you get the chance to help other people too, because you're likely not the only person with that question out there, and she then has the ability to channel for the collective, and it's a really beautiful experience to tune into on those Thursdays.
Yeah, and she even says that while she's doing them. If I don't get to your question, like if you have a similar question to somebody, like then this answer can be for you as well.
She's such a beautiful channel of the angels. Oh
yeah, she definitely is, and somebody that we've been blessed to work with for many, many years, even before we had like the network going. So it's exciting that she's been with us for so long and continued to do her thing, and it's been fun watching her podcast grow. And she has a really good following too on all of her social media. She's on YouTube with a bunch of different videos and meditations. She probably has an Archangel Raphael meditation on YouTube, and you can just search that as Sarah Hall, I believe.
Yeah, and I know she has a lot on Archangel Michael, which comes up a lot in various other podcasts. One's with Silo and I, one's with Alan and I. Archangel Michael is probably one of our top angels here for the Bring Me to Life network. We all channel him in some way, and he's a powerful one to work with. So if you've been called to work with Archangel Michael, I know she has a lot of content on that.
Absolutely. I am wondering, do we have any other podcasts? I believe that was it.
Yeah, because I think all the others are currently on a break. Like Sifu's on a break, and a couple others on breaks.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of really good content on the website. You can check out Sifu's podcast. We have Tune In and Find the Others still up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are interested in creating a conscious podcast and you want to be a part of the growing Bring Me to Life collective, reach out to us. There's a spot on our website called Join the Broadcasting Team, or just send us an email. Reach out to one of us individually. We'd love to, talk to you, figure out what it is that would be best suited for you, whether it's to be featured on one of the many podcasts we have created already or to help you create your own.
Yeah. And remember, if you can, try and rate and review us or share this episode with your friend any way you can. There's an option if you're listening on Spotify to hit the share, and then you click the Instagram and it will let you share this onto your stories.
Oh, that's so helpful.
And from right there, people will be able to click that and it will open up the episode in Spotify on their phone.
Do it right now. If you're on Spotify, it's not going to take you that long. We would appreciate it so much.
You can hit it and you can still hear us while you're sharing it.
Look, you could have already done it. It could have already happened. And
Do
then
it now.
if you tag us, then we'll send you some love too.
Do it now.
We can help spread the love. Sharing is caring.
Thank you, everybody. And please continue to tune in to the Bring Me Life podcast. Continue to tune in to all the other podcasts on the Bring Me to Life network. And yeah, thank you all. Stay awake.
Shine on always. For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.